So I'm going to transition now to the 4 areas of adjustment or transition that I think a lot of students struggle with. And I think it would be useful to students to have kind of the mindset, these mindsets that I'm going to attach to these different areas for areas of transition that are difficult for students. So the first one is, students often think of college as an end point in somewhere, like somewhere where they've learned everything that they're going to really need to learn, and they're going to add on to it, right? They're going to accumulate more knowledge, more complicated knowledge. You've amassed this knowledge in high school, and then suddenly in college, you're just going to get more. You're going to build up this big pile of knowledge. You're going to sit on it like Scrooge McDuck, right? And what's heartbreaking to a lot of them is that that is not the case, that so much of learning more has to do with destruction, right? That you're just going to get rid of what you thought was so useful to you, and you're going to replace it with something else. That so much of learning in college and learning in life just about revamping, sometimes burning to the ground what you initially thought was so useful and effective, and replacing it with something else. And that is a process that develops over time and continues on. I often break my students' hearts when I say, the 18-year-old Alice would hate the 45-year-old Alice. The 45-year-old Alice would be an anathema to the 18-year-old Alice. And they go, how can this be, right? They've got this real commitment to learning something and holding on to it. So I would say for a lot of students, this is most evident with the 5-paragraph essay. They're crushed. They're like, what do you mean I'm not going to use this template? This is a useful template. This template has served me. It is a magnificent structure. I know where all the pieces go. It's very neat. I love that funnel introduction, right? Where you start really broad, in the world, things sometimes happen. And then somehow 5 sentences later, you land upon your thesis about Shakespeare. They really struggle with letting that go. And what I try to tell my students about that is, you're going to let a lot of things go, and you have to think of them as training wheels that are useful to you in the moment. Once you start really trying to go somewhere on your bicycle and be a bicyclist, those training wheels will get in your way. And the 5-paragraph essay is this set of training wheels that will really start to get in your way if you try to do college level writing within that construct. And so preparing them for letting some things go that were very useful to them, and trusting that what they learned from the 5-paragraph essay, the importance of a structure, the importance of having things move in an order, that is what's useful about that template, and not being attached to that template so much. And this is across the board, right? I've had assignments with students where I will say, no one is allowed to put their thesis at the end of the first paragraph. You must find somewhere else to put it. And they will still find a way. Like, they might break that paragraph in two, but it's still the last sentence of the first paragraph. So that attachment is very real.